Hello and welcome to another the game 4 of Gates of Westerage. This is my Bretonnian facing the other Bretonnian player in this tournament. So this will be a very important game to become best in race. So for my list, I have furthest to the wall over there. I have my bowman. Then I have the enchantress hiding behind that hill, the questing knight, a unit of fast cav, my spearman behind that fence, my missile lance, and 6 more fast cav next to that forest. And if you want a more detailed walkthrough of my lists, just click the link below and I will walk through what I have in my army list. For the other Brett player, he have 2 units of archers. I think they're 12 or 13 in each of them. Then he have 2 trebs, the peg knight, and a unit of knights of the realm. Well, then he have on this flank, he have a unit of knights of the realm. Here you have a BSB and a lord. That lord is a kind of defensive lord, I think, with the high armor save and sword of might, I think, if I remember correctly. Then another realm lance and a grail unit. In the realm he have his lord with heroic killing blow and sword of swift slaying, and in the grail knights he have his damsel with the lore of heavens. And the special objective is you have to pick units of your opponent, a maximum of 3, and you will gain double points for them. But if you don't kill them, your opponent will get victory points for them. So what he chose to kill was my 2 fast cav units and the men-at-arms. What I chose was his peg knight and the small unit of archers. And yeah, so here we go. Well, since I have the enchantress, I get to go first. And you can see I have vanguarded up my fast cav, and otherwise I keep my distance from him because I don't think I have anything to gain from rushing forward to him. I think I might even have him outmaneuvered, so that's why I'm keeping my distance with my whole army. And actually magic, I think he stopped everything I got, and here you can see he moves his peg knights behind my archer. I actually thought he would charge, that's why I faced my questing knights to counter charge them, but anyways, that's his peg knight. Otherwise he just pushes his army up, his trebs trying to hit the enchantress, but it's not inside, so it didn't manage to do much. So to my Brett's turn 2, what I first do is I charge with this fast cav in the flank of his archer, which will be good because then they will have free range of just picking out his trebs and his archer over there. Well, my missile lance tries to charge his realm lance in the previous picture, but then I rolled this, and you can see it's 3 1s and 2 2s. So yeah, I failed that charge. I also rolled them in the right order, rolling 3 dice first and 1 then and 1 after that. It didn't matter if I pick off one of the ones I didn't make the charge, which will proves problematic for me in his second turn. Well, basically here's my center field. I back off with the questing knight so they can flank charge the peg knights if they charge my bowman. The enchantress hide behind that hill to throw some missile at them. I did manage to kill one of these guys this turn with magic. If you wonder why there's a few pictures, it's because my cell phone camera was almost dead on batteries when I started this game. Well, these peasant units pass. I think they weren't steadfast and were leadership 8, they lost by a couple, so I think they were down to leadership 5 or 4, but he did make it. Well, the problem for me was here you can see that's his Grey Knight charges first my fast cab. I decided to flee, then he charged my ram lance and he would hit the flank, so I choose to flee there too with them, and thankfully both of them managed to get away from him. And here you can see where I ended up. So now instead of having my lance across the field and would have been able to just hold his unit of Grail Knights and Aaron Realm Knights over there outside of far away from me, with first chafing them up with my fast cab, and then they would be far away to get to anything. Now they are in a dangerously close position to my line, and I have a expensive knight unit without any blessing. So that's kind of problematic, but we will see how these things will turn out. This was kind of hysterical. His Realm Lance, who I had tried to charge last turn, decided they would charge my Spearman over there, and they failed some dangerous terrain test when they charged to that forest, and then they have to take a panic chest. They failed that test, and they started running away from my fast cab, who were behind his line, and they ran straight down into the water. So there's where they ended up. And here you can see his Peg Knight doing much damage to my peasant archers. So here is a kind of good overview picture of his knights closing into me and me being really out of position here. So that's it. Over to my Brett's turn 2, turn 3. So this was very good. My yeoman actually managed to break his archer. He ran away. The other archer unit actually panicked off the board. So in my turn 3 I will charge one of his trap, clip the corner of it, and then I will overrun over to the next one behind it in his turn 3. So the fast cab will be out of the game for the rest of the game, but they have taken out a lot of more worth of points than they cost. Well, you can see my other movement in this picture. One thing I did was the knights and yeomen actually managed to rally both of them, which was very good. So my yeomen can actually move, so they go up and block off his knights of the realm. My spearman charged his fleeing unit of knights who were in the water. They will bounce through his BSB unit, but they passed their panic check, no problem. And the questing knights will slam into the flank of his peg knights. Well, then comes the magic phase. I, Searing Doom, get Irresistible Force and kill a whole lance unit, so his general is now totally alone out in the open. With the miscast, the Enchantress suffer a wound. Here the questing knights managed to kill his peg knights. The peg knights do a whole lot of wounds on the archer. The archer pursued the fleeing peg knights off the board. The archer didn't get off the board, and now they will stand in the corner hiding over there. Well, for Bretonnian's turn, you can see here his knight on the top rallies. His grey knight flank charge my yeoman, and that's some dead peasant for you. And you can see in the bottom of this picture his general fails charge my Realm Knights unit, so that's very nice. In the magic phase, he 6 dice, Chain Lightning, I think. He did manage to do a wound on the Enchantress, and I think he might have sapped some Spearmen too, but who cares? Well, he did get miscast and Dimensional Cascade. So she explodes, she kills 4 knights in the process, and she suffers a wound. My turn 4. You can see that my Realm Knights have the, I think it's Harmonic, Ice or Blizzard it is, I think. I choose not to charge with them. Instead, I take out my Lord and Paladin and march him straight through and behind his lances, so he cannot charge them. The peasants move up to be within the line of the water, so if he wanna charge, he cannot be steadfast and have to take dangerous terrain test, which is nice. Even though I don't think he's going for being steadfast against a unit of 50 peasants, but you never know. The Enchantress moves back a bit, but still in range. The Questing Knights moves forward a bit. I'm keeping safe distance with them if things went sour and I have to counter charge with them somehow. So we will see. Well, now is the time my cell phone dies, so I pick up the camera, who has also almost no battery in it left. But you can see here his Grey Knight charges my Spearman together with the Realm Lands. I did get off Wisdom's Wild Form on my Spearman, which is good because then they get some tougher. His Lord charges my Realm Lands, and I will sacrifice my champion this turn and hopefully maybe get lucky and win in the long run with combat res. I have a banner and musician and some ranks for the moment, so hopefully. So we will see. I don't really casting magic with my level 4. I cast Plague of Rust here and there, just to remove some armor save, but I don't want to risk a miscast and exploding because she is on her last wound. This is after combat. You can see we both sticking around, we both losses some model. Remember that the Questing Knights have Plague of Rust on them and I have Strength 4, so I'm and they are only toughness 3, and even if I hit on 5 I do pretty good damage to the Grey Knight, which is ridiculous that Grey Knights are for the points costed. They are not worth 38 points for a knights that have no defensive capability more than a Realm Knights, but that's my point of view. You can see here in Brett turn 5 I turn around my Paladin and Lord to rear charge him in my turn 6. Unfortunately, this is the time the camera died. I did get Wisdom's Wild Form on the Spearman, so what will happen here? He will kill my damsel in the end. I will do some more wounds to his Grey Knight. Then I will recharge his Realm Lands and I will do a lot of damage there. I will actually, he will have his VSB, a Champ, a Banner in the Grey Knights and his Lord left in that whole combat in the last final, his turn 6. I will actually manage to break him and capture him. In the other combat with the General, he fluffed once. I have 3 models left. I have a Banner and a Musician. I win by 1. He breaks, but I didn't manage to catch him. But in the end, I took all of the unit I was supposed to kill. He took a unit of fast cav he was supposed to kill. So I win the objective. It was a max point of 600, so I get 600 for that. He killed my level 1 or beast. He killed the fast cav, and that's it. And I killed basically his whole army minus the Lord. So it ended up being a 20-0 for my Bretonnia, which I was really make my tournament If you have seen the previous battle, you know it ended up being 3 hard losses. It was not because I think at least I play bad. It was the dice weren't really on my side. And in the beginning of this game, when I failed a charge with a missile lance, I actually thought, fuck, this game is screwed too. But thankfully I managed to take, and it will make me best in race for this tournament, which I'm very proud of. So that's it. If you have any question, feel free to ask them below and I will try to answer them as soon as I can. Feel free to like this vid and start subscribing if you haven't already. I see you around.